All right, so now let's just talk about leg pummeling, because obviously if we're in a one in, one out situation, we can do all the stuff that we've been doing, but we can also just pummel back to both legs being inside, controlling the inside position and trying to win from there, because it's just easier to do. If we start with this, the strong De La Riva hook here is really going to hurt me when it comes to pummeling. So we do want to keep this leg to the outside, but we want to use the De La Riva hook as necessary to create that kind of extension. So if all I do is keep my leg to the outside, I cannot effectively push Rory's leg towards his body. He has the inside control here. So I'm going to use the De La Riva hook, again, as necessary to A, internally rotate his hip, B, start to push his leg towards his chest so that I can slip my foot to the outside, maintaining a, again, Suzanne Summers kind of motion, squeezing my knees together, which will hopefully create enough of a pathway to pummel my leg to the inside. So that's the sort of like primary way of doing this sort of pummel. You can also obviously use, sorry, I gotta be outside here. You can also obviously use a grip break to achieve the same thing. But again, depending on the situation, strength, length, being long, being strong, being down to get the friction on, those kinds of things can get in your way. So make sure that you don't rely on this. Utilize these lever controls. They tend to be a little bit more effective against better people.
Now, the reason why we didn't start with this video, because you might be like, well, that seems like a pretty simple thing, is that it can be really frustrating when we sit here and neither of us move. And so creating the different dilemmas that end up happening where if we're inside one in, one out, and Rob is starting to try to build up one direction, or maybe I force a direction, as I'm trying to do my technical stand-up stuff, Rob might be able to, within those movements, find opportunities to withdraw, whether it's to, and get back to the inside space, whether it's to counter me, trying to build up, because you always have to give up a little bit of control. We're talking about very structured ways to be able to try and maintain the control for as long as possible, but it's always going to be a little bit weaker than obviously if we're both just sitting there on our asses, grabbing on the legs as hard as we can. Or you're going to find when you're trying to go through these and you're like, I can't do a technical stand-up, I can't do post switching, I can't do base hip switching here, whether you're just dealing with someone who's bigger than you, stronger than you, there's so many factors at play that maybe sometimes is a better call to withdraw at that point. Like, well, am I creating enough movement that I can at least pummel to double inside control? And then restart the battle from here. So don't feel like you're going to get stuck in a spot where it's like, I have to always be maintaining here. If I'm in a position like this and I'm trying to build up and I just can't do it, Rob's managing to get this grip here, or I even managed to switch here and I can't quite finish from here. Maybe from here, just because I got enough of a grip.
Ah, crap.
Now I'm like, okay, I had to just drop. I even lifted myself a bit there, but I was pretty compromised, didn't feel safe. Now from here, I can do everything with just a lot more reliability.